kind of, cleansing, and as a result of that, you had this paradoxical combination of being scared, of the jolt of electricity, and the flavor of ecstasy at the same time. I would suggest that you cut down on meditation and do it gradually and smoothen out the whole process. But overall, what happened was a cleansing, and you should be grateful for it.
The fact that some people, Deepak, have been able to get to this level, this higher level, I guess, on their own with knowledge, with reading, what does that tell you about them as an individual?
That they're highly evolved, that they probably have done a lot of work in another lifetime, that they're, karmically already ahead. That's all.
All right. We're going to take this quick break. It's our final break, and we'll come right back. We're going to continue to take more of your phone calls. I invite you to get up to the website, coasttocoastam.com. You will see a couple websites for Deepak Chopra, of course, his, chopra.com, and then he's got the other one that's linked up. Lex has it on the website, ANHGLOBAL, anhglobal.org. Take a look at both of those. The book we're talking about tonight is called The Spontaneous Fulfillment of Desire, Harnessing the Infinite Power of Conscious and Coincidence. I'll be right back. And welcome back with my guest, Deepak Chopra. I'm George Norrie. Deepak, what are your feelings about the state of this planet with everything that's going on right now?
Well, first of all, it's not a good state. There's a state of chaos. 40,000 children die every day of hunger. That's less than 4% of our military budget would take care of that. There is terrorism in the world. You have all these suicide bombings occurring. You have ecological devastation, social injustice, economic disparities. More than 50% of the world lives on less than $2 a day. So, and we have a war on terrorism, a war on drugs, a war on cancer, a war on AIDS, a war on poverty. Our metaphor is wrong. We have to go beyond this kind of thinking, and we have to say that there have to be creative solutions where we tackle these big problems as a collective humanity. That's why we have the Alliance for the New Humanity. There are enough resources in the world today to feed every hungry child. There are enough creative resources in the world to tackle and restore even scientific breakthroughs to restore the ecological balance of nature. We have enough brilliant people in the world who can tell us that we can go beyond our ideology and dogma and belief systems and recognize the universality of all people and all faiths. So we have a responsibility right now to our children and to our children's children to give them a legacy for a better world. It's something we must do. I personally consider myself now to be in the autumn of my life, and this is what I'm dedicating the rest of my life for.
Good for you. Do you believe in end times, or do you believe we can reverse what?
I think that if you look at evolution, there are periods in evolution where there is a lot of chaos, and almost always out of that chaos, there is what biologists call punctuated equilibrium. The creative forces of nature always win in the end. So I don't believe that we are going to become extinct or the world is going to come to an end. I think the chaos, in fact, is the nutritive soup for us, the imaginal selves right now.
Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to our wild card line. Welcome to Coast to Coast. You are on the air with us. Hi there.
Hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm currently reading a book called The Celestine Prophecy, and I was wondering if either one of you have read this book. It talks about coincidences and about a manuscript found in Peru that has 9 insights, and it goes along exactly with what your guest is talking about.
Well, James Redfield is the author of the Celestine Prophecy, and he's a very good friend of mine. We've spent a lot of time together in remote places, including Australia and the Outback. That's a very beautiful book, The Celestine Prophecy. The 9 insights are very, very beautiful insights that give you a very good glimpse of what I'm saying as well. My work is in the scientific direction. James' work comes from with this very interesting Peruvian tradition, but it's a parallel, very, very parallel work, and I'm glad you're reading it.
And what's fascinating, Deepak, is you both seem to get to the end of the road in different ways,
yes.
But you get there.
Of course, yeah, well, different roads, different traditions, same insight.
We talked a little bit about the human ego, but what about human greed that could be out there that affects these
greed
things?
Greed is also from the ego. You know, the ego is the self-image. So the greed is from the ego. The spirit is never greedy. The spirit always wants to share. You know, because the spirit is a domain of awareness, which is universal. It's not your skin-encapsulated little self sitting in a little body.
My mother is the type who would just about give you anything she owns. She's always been that way, and I've always said to myself, that's an enlightened person.
Right. And, you know, if more mothers were like that, we would have an enlightened society. As a society, we have not really paid homage to the importance of motherhood. We pay so much importance to celebrities, to sports figures. We venerate them. We, you know, give them so much of our adulation. And yet, the really important people that shape society are mothers. You know, in India, there's a saying that every child that is born is proof that God has not given up on human beings. And every mother is there to nurture that God in embryo.
Let's go east of the Rockies. Your turn. You're on Coast to Coast. Hi there.
My name's Carl. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure
I'm from Troy, Michigan.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I studied J. Krishnamurti a long time. Could you tell me your opinion on J. Krishnamurti and what influence he had on you, please?
J. Krishnamurti was one of the most brilliant philosophers of the last century, and more than any other human being, he was the greatest influence on my life. I went to see him in the late 70s, and I traveled for a while following him, and I felt always that he was at least 100 years ahead of our times, and many things he said people did not understand. So one of the things when I started to write my books was I was going to make Krishnamurti available to the world in a simpler language, and that's what I've done in my writings.
Let's go to our next wild card line. Welcome to Coast. You are on the air. Trying to get as many as we can, Deepak, before we say goodnight to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, just making sure you had me. My name is Debbie, and I'm from Long Beach.
Hi, Debbie.
I have a question, and I need guidance, I believe, or input. I'm in a situation where I'm truly surrounded by both a magnitude of good and a magnitude, for lack of a better word, of darkness and evil. And it's kind of one of those deals of, in the Bible, it says, behold, even Satan comes disguised as an angel of light. Do you have any suggestions on how to discern proper courses of action, who to
I think
believe?
the first step in your case is to take the good people that are in your life and write down all their qualities, and then take the so-called bad people in your life and write down their qualities. When you have all those qualities written down, ask yourself really honestly, do I have any of this in me? And once you can accept that you have both the dark and the light, that you have both the divine and the diabolical, that you have both the sacred and the profane, you will see that just in the embracing of all that, the situation will change.
All right, thanks for your phone call. Appreciate it. Next up, let's go first-time caller line. You're on Coast to Coast with us. Hi there.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Sure thing.
Dr. Chopra, I have a coincidence that actually involves you.
Yes.
I live here in Austin, Texas, and I was kind of really, thinking about my future, and I happened to walk into the Barnes & Noble last week while you were doing a book signing there.
Yes.
And I've never read any of your books. I've heard.
Been able to get to this level, this higher level, I guess, on their own with knowledge, with reading. What does that tell you about them as an individual?
Kind of, cleansing, and as a result of that, you had this paradoxical combination of being scared of the jolt of electricity and the flavor of ecstasy at the same time. I would suggest that you
come right back. We're going to continue to take more of your phone calls. I invite you to get up to the website, coasttocoastam.com. You will see a couple websites for Deepak Chopra, of course, his, Chopra.com.
That they're highly evolved, that they probably have done a lot of work in another lifetime, that they're, karmically already ahead. That's all.
All right. We're going to take this quick break. It's our final break, and we'll
cut down on meditation and do it gradually and smoothen out the whole process. But overall, what happened was a cleansing, and you should be grateful for it.
The fact that some people, Deepak, have